Oh boy, I got confused, and when I started the live before, and it said Michelle's mini vlog, no Michelle mini vlog, Michelle's Coloring Corner is live right now. Oh, wrong channel. I'm stupid. Oh boy. Okay, let's start with the Lord's Prayer. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day the daily bread. Forgive us for our trespasses. Forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Amen. And I would like to say, just in case his family does see this video, I'm kind of heartbroken, but John McCain did die yesterday. So I was hoping there was a miracle, but God did answer part of it. He took John McCain's pain away, took the cancer away, took everything away. It was his time to go. He was 81. He was good age, you know. So I'm pretty sure the Tannerites marriage is good by now, and we're just gonna move on. I still pray for him privately. I have peanut butter on my paper. Okay, today's prayer. After we read today's prayer, we're gonna go to 2 Timothy 2:13. Oh, I did that wrong. Hey, Pamela. How are you, Pamela? How are you, Pamela? You new? Let me get the chat going on my other phone. I'm good, thank you. Let's get my chat going. So I don't know why it starts with the video. I said no, so stop it. You want to hit the like button for me, please? Let's see if I'm following you. It's not loading. Oh boy. I just started this phone. It doesn't mean sometimes it freezes. Thank you. Trying to get to your bed. Oh, yeah, I'm already subscribed. Itchy. Well, I'm about to read the my devotions. I do that every morning. Then after that, I usually get dressed, get cleaned up, eat breakfast, which I have my breakfast here with me. And I have a bit. I didn't have to take my heartburn pill for like several days, and I can feel it coming now. Because of the peanut butter, it sticks to your esophagus all the way down. Gemma. Oh, there you go. The peanut butter went down. Oh, excuse me. Yep, I do it every morning. I read two passages. Sometimes I read the whole chapter. It depends how I'm feeling. And then the app is nice enough to read 6 chapters to us. So we just sit back and chat and listen. So today's the prayer of the day is, Abba Father, I thank you that my doubts cannot stop you from blessing me. That is so true. So, Gemma, are you feeling good today? You feeling better? Now we're gonna read 2 Timothy 2:13. Yes, that's a good one. Wait till you hear Palms 139:13 to 14. That's a good one. Let's go. Yeah, let's go read Timothy. 2 Timothy. Oh, that's a short one. 2 Timothy 2. I think I read this. Yep, I read Timothy. I read the whole book of Timothy. Oh, good. I'm glad, Gemma. I'm so sorry you go through that. I don't like I don't like crowds myself. That's why sometimes at a cookout I would stay to myself. So you okay, Michelle? I'm like, yeah, I don't like crowds, so I'm staying right here. Oh, okay. So someone else is sitting there and talk to me, and everybody would be around me, and I move. And one time my mom says, "You gonna go to Auntie Jen's for the cookout?" I says, "Why?" I says, "I don't like crowds. It's always so big." She says, "Oh, she said it's only if it's gonna be us." Oh, there you go. Oh, there you go. And then when me and my mother got to my aunt's, there was tons of people. I looked at her. Okay. Oh, yeah. 2 Timothy, second chapter, 13th verse. If we are faithless, he remains faithful, for he cannot deny himself. Yes, ma'am. Amen. Okay. Okay. Psalms 139, 13 and 14. For it was you who created my inward parts. You knit me together in my mother's womb. I will praise you because I have been remarkably and wondrously made. Your works are wondrous, and I know this very well. And now we're going to read. I think we're going to finish Joshua. I'm not sure. Yeah, we're finishing Joshua. So we're on now Joshua 19. And I will press it, and he will read it to us.
Chapter 19. The second lot came out for Simeon, for the tribe of his descendants by their clans. But their inheritance was within the inheritance given to Judah's descendants. Their inheritance included Beersheba, or Sheba, Moleda, Hazar Shual, Bela, Ezem, Eltoad, Bethel, Harmah, Ziklag, Beth Markaboth, Hazar Susa, Beth Lebaoth, and Sheruhen, 13 cities with their settlements. Ayin, Rimmon, Ether, and Ashan, 4 cities with their settlements, and all the settlements surrounding these cities, as far as Baalath Beer, Ramah in the south. This was the inheritance of the tribe of Simeon's descendants by their clans. The inheritance of Simeon's descendants was within the territory of Judah's descendants, because the share for Judah's descendants was too large. So Simeon's descendants received an inheritance within Judah's portion. A third lot came up for Zebulun's descendants by their clans. The territory of their inheritance stretched as far as Sarid. Their border went up westward to Maralah, reached Dabasheth, and met the brook east of Jokneam. From Sarid it turned due east along the border of Kisloth Tabor, went to Daberath, and went up to Japhia. From there it went due east to Gath-Hepher and to Ethkazin. It extended to Rimmon, curving around to Neah. The border then circled around Neah on the north to Hanathon, and ended at Ifta-El Valley, along with Cadath, Nahalal, Shimron, Idalah, and Bethlehem, 12 cities with their settlements. This was the inheritance of Zebulun's descendants by their clans, these cities with their settlements. The fourth lot came out for the tribe of Issachar's descendants by their clans. Their territory went to Jezreel, and included Kishaloth, Shunem, Hapharaim, Shion, Naharath, Rabbith, Ebez, Remath, Ganim, Hada, and Beth-Pazez. The border reached Tabor, Sheazuma, and Beth-Shemesh, and ended at the Jordan, 16 cities with their settlements. This was the inheritance of the tribe of Issachar's descendants by their clans, the cities with their settlements. The fifth lot came out for the tribe of Asher's descendants by their clans. Their boundary included Helkath, Halai, Beton, Akshaph, Alamelech, Amad, and Mishal, and reached westward to Carmel and Shihar-Libnath. It turned eastward to Beth-Dagon, reached Zebulun and Ifta-El Valley, north toward Beth-Emek and Naail, and went north to Cabul, Hebron, Rehob, Hammon, and Cana, as far as Greater Sidon. The boundary then turned to Ramah, as far as the fortified city of Tyre. It turned back to Hosa, and ended at the Mediterranean Sea, including Mahaleb, Akzib, Ummah, Aphek, and Rehob, 22 cities with their settlements. This was the inheritance of the tribe of Asher's descendants by their clans, these cities with their settlements. The sixth lot came out for Naphtali's descendants by their clans. Their boundary went from Heleph and from the oak in Zaananim, including Adami-Nekeb and Jabneel, as far as Lacham, and ended at the Jordan. To the west the boundary turned to Asnoth Tabor, and went from there to Hukkok, reaching Zebulun on the south, Asher on the west, and Judah at the Jordan on the east. The fortified cities were Ziddim, Zur, Hamath, Rakkath, Kinnereth, Adamah, Ramah, Hazar, Kedesh, Edrei, Hazar, Iron, Migdalel, Horem, Beth-Anath, and Beth-Shemesh, 19 cities with their settlements. This was the inheritance of the tribe of Naphtali's descendants by their clans, the cities with their settlements. The seventh lot came out for the tribe of Dan's descendants by their clans. The territory of their inheritance included Zorah, Eshtaol, Urshemesh, Shealaban, Ajalon, Ithla, Eon, Timnah, Ekron, Eltekeh, Gibbethon, Baalath, Jehud, Beni-Berak, Gath-Rimmon, Midjarkon, and Rakkon, with the territory facing Joppa. When the territory of the descendants of Dan slipped out of their control, they went up and fought against Leshem, captured it, and struck it down with the sword. So they took possession of it, lived there, and renamed Leshem after their ancestor Dan. This was the inheritance of the tribe of Dan's descendants by their clans, these cities with their settlements. When they had finished distributing the land into its territories, the Israelites gave Joshua son of Nun an inheritance among them. By the Lord's command they gave him the city Timnath-Serah in the hill country of Ephraim, which he requested. He rebuilt the city and lived in it. These were the portions that the priest Eleazar, Joshua son of Nun, and the family heads distributed to the Israelite tribes by lot at Shiloh, in the Lord's presence at the entrance to the tent of meeting. So they finished dividing up the land. Chapter 20. Then the Lord spoke to Joshua. Tell the Israelites, select your cities of refuge, as I instructed you through Moses, so that a person who kills someone unintentionally or accidentally may flee there. These will be your refuge from the avenger of blood. When someone flees to one of these cities, stands at the entrance of the city gate, and states his case before the elders of that city, they are to bring him into the city and give him a place to live among them. And if the avenger of blood pursues him, they must not hand the one who committed manslaughter over to him, for he killed his neighbor accidentally and did not hate him beforehand. He is to stay in that city until he stands trial before the assembly, and until the death of the high priest serving at that time. Then the one who committed manslaughter may return home to his own city from which he fled. So they designated Kedesh in the hill country of Naphtali in Galilee, Shechem in the hill country of Ephraim, and Kiriath Arba, that is Hebron, in the hill country of Judah. Across the Jordan east of Jericho, they selected Bezer on the wilderness plateau from Reuben's tribe, Ramoth and Gilead from Gab's tribe, and Golan in Bashan from Manasseh's tribe. These are the cities appointed for all the Israelites and the aliens residing among them, so that anyone who kills a person unintentionally may flee there and not die at the hand of the avenger of blood until he stands before the assembly.
That's quick.
Chapter 21. The Levite family heads approached the priest Eleazar, Joshua son of Nun, and the family heads of the Israelite tribes. At Shiloh in the land of Canaan they told them, "The Lord commanded through Moses that we be given cities to live in with their pasture lands for our livestock." So the Israelites, by the Lord's command, gave the Levites these cities with their pasture lands from their inheritance. The lot came out for the Kohathite clans. The Levites, who were the descendants of the priest Aaron, received 13 cities by lot from the tribes of Judah, Simeon, and Benjamin. The remaining descendants of Kohath received 10 cities by lot from the clans of the tribe of Ephraim, Dan, and half the tribe of Manasseh. The remaining descendants of Kohath received 10 cities by lot from the clans of the tribes of Ephraim, Dan, and half the tribe of Manasseh. Gershon's descendants received 13 cities by lot from the clans of the tribes of Issachar, Asher, Naphtali, and half the tribe of Manasseh in Bashan. Merari's descendants received 12 cities for their clans from the tribes of Reuben, Gad, and Zebulun. The Israelites gave these cities with their pasture lands around them to the Levites by lot, as the Lord had commanded through Moses. The Israelites gave these cities by name from the tribes of the descendants of Judah and Simeon to the descendants of Aaron from the Kohathite clans of the Levites, because they received the first lot. They gave them Kiriath Arba, that is Hebron. Arba was the father of Anak, with its surrounding pasture lands in the hill country of Judah. But they gave the fields and settlements of the city to Caleb, son of Jephunneh, as his possession. They gave to the descendants of the priest Aaron Hebron, the city of refuge for the one who commits manslaughter, with its pasture lands, Libnah with its pasture lands, Jattir with its pasture lands, Eshtemoa with its pasture lands, Holon with its pasture lands, Deber with its pasture lands, Ayin with its pasture lands, Judah with its pasture lands, and Bethshemesh with its pasture lands. 9 cities from these 2 tribes. From the tribe of Benjamin they gave Gibeon with its pasture lands, Geba with its pasture lands, Anathoth with its pasture lands, and Almon with its pasture lands. 4 cities. All 13 cities with their pasture lands were for the priests, the descendants of Aaron. The allotted cities to the remaining clans of Kohath's descendants, who were Levites, came from the tribe of Ephraim. The Israelites gave them Shechem, the city of refuge for the one who commits manslaughter, with its pasture lands in the hill country of Ephraim, Gezer with its pasture lands, Gibzaim with its pasture lands, and Beth-horon with its pasture lands, 4 cities. From the tribe of Dan they gave Eltekeh with its pasture lands, Gibbethon with its pasture lands, Ajalon with its pasture lands, and Gath-rimmon with its pasture lands, 4 cities. From half the tribe of Manasseh they gave Taanach with its pasture lands, and Gath-rimmon with its pasture lands, 2 cities. All 10 cities with their pasture lands were for the clans of Kohath's other descendants. From half the tribe of Manasseh they gave to the descendants of Gershon, who were one of the Levite clans. Golan, the city of refuge for the one who commits manslaughter, with its pasture lands in Bashan, and Beeshterah with its pasture lands, 2 cities. From the tribe of Issachar they gave Kishion with its pasture lands, Daberath with its pasture lands, Jarmuth with its pasture lands, and En-Gannim with its pasture lands, 4 cities. From the tribe of Asher they gave Mishal with its pasture lands, Abdon with its pasture lands, Helkath with its pasture lands, and Rehob with its pasture lands, 4 cities. From the tribe of Naphtali they gave Kedesh in Galilee, the city of refuge for the one who commits manslaughter, with its pasture lands, Hamath-dar with its pasture lands, and Kartan with its pasture lands, 3 cities. All 13 cities with their pasture lands were for the Gershonites by their clans. From the tribe of Zebulun they gave to the clans of the descendants of Merari, who were the remaining Levites, Jokneam with its pasture lands, Karta with its pasture lands, Dimnah with its pasture lands, and Nahalal with its pasture lands, 4 cities. From the tribe of Reuben they gave Bezer with its pasture lands, Jaza with its pasture lands, Kedemoth with its pasture lands, and Mephaath with its pasture lands, 4 cities. From the tribe of Gad they gave Ramoth in Gilead, the city of refuge for the one who commits manslaughter, with its pasture lands, Mahanaim with its pasture lands, Heshbon with its pasture lands, and Jazer with its pasture lands, 4 cities in all. All 12 cities were allotted to the clans of Merari's descendants, the remaining Levite clans. Within the Israelite possession, there were 48 cities in all with their pasture lands for the Levites. Each of these cities had its own surrounding pasture lands. This was true for all the cities. So the Lord gave Israel all the land he had sworn to give their fathers, and they took possession of it and settled there. The Lord gave them rest on every side, according to all he had sworn to their fathers. None of their enemies were able to stand against them, for the Lord handed over all their enemies to them. None of the good promises the Lord had made to the house of Israel failed. Everything was fulfilled. Chapter 22. Joshua summoned the Reubenites, Gadites, and half the tribe of Manasseh, and told them, "You have done everything Moses the Lord's servant commanded you, and have obeyed me in everything I commanded you. You have not deserted your brothers, even once, this whole time, but have carried out the requirement of the command of the Lord your God. Now that he has given your brothers rest, just as he promised them, return to your homes in your own land that Moses the Lord's servant gave you across the Jordan. Only carefully obey the command and instruction that Moses the Lord's servant gave you, to love the Lord your God, walk in all his ways, keep his commands, be loyal to him, and serve him with all your heart and all your soul." Joshua blessed them and sent them on their way, and they went to their homes. Moses had given territory to half the tribe of Manasseh in Bashan, but Joshua had given territory to the other half, with their brothers on the west side of the Jordan. When Joshua sent them to their homes and blessed them, he said, "Return to your homes with great wealth, a huge number of cattle and silver, gold, bronze, iron, and a large quantity of clothing. Share the spoil of your enemies with your brothers." The Reubenites, Gadites, and half the tribe of Manasseh left the Israelites at Shiloh in the land of Canaan to return to their own land of Gilead, which they took possession of according to the Lord's command through Moses. When they came to the region of the Jordan in the land of Canaan, the Reubenites, Gadites, and half the tribe of Manasseh built a large, impressive altar there by the Jordan. Then the Israelites heard it said, "Look, the Reubenites, Gadites, and half the tribe of Manasseh have built an altar on the frontier of the land of Canaan at the region of the Jordan on the Israelite side." When the Israelites heard this, the entire Israelite community assembled at Shiloh to go to war against them. The Israelites sent Phinehas, son of Eleazar the priest, to the Reubenites, Gadites, and half the tribe of Manasseh in the land of Gilead. They sent 10 leaders with him, one family leader for each tribe of Israel. All of them were heads of their ancestral families among the clans of Israel. They went to the Reubenites, Gadites, and half the tribe of Manasseh in the land of Gilead and told them, "This is what the Lord's entire community says. What is this treachery you have committed today against the God of Israel, by turning away from the Lord and building an altar for yourselves, so that you are in rebellion against the Lord today? Wasn't the iniquity of PR, which brought a plague on the Lord's community, enough for us? We have not cleansed ourselves from it even to this day. And now would you turn away from the Lord? If you rebel against the Lord today, tomorrow he will be angry with the entire community of Israel. But if the land you possess is defiled, cross over to the land the Lord possesses where the Lord's tabernacle stands, and take possession of it among us. But don't rebel against the Lord or against us by building for yourselves an altar other than the altar of the Lord our God. Wasn't Achan, son of Zerah, unfaithful regarding what was set apart for destruction, bringing wrath on the entire community of Israel? He was not the only one who perished because of his iniquity. The Reubenites, Gadites, and half the tribe of Manasseh answered the heads of the Israelite clans. The mighty one, God the Lord, the mighty one, God the Lord, he knows, and may Israel also know. Do not spare us today, if it was in rebellion or treachery against the Lord, that we have built for ourselves an altar to turn away from him. May the Lord himself hold us accountable if we intended to offer burnt offerings and grain offerings on it, or to sacrifice fellowship offerings on it. We actually did this from a specific concern that in the future your descendants might say to our descendants, "What relationship do you have with the Lord, the God of Israel? For the Lord has made the Jordan a border between us and you descendants of Reuben and Gad. You have no share in the Lord, so your descendants may cause our descendants to stop fearing the Lord." Therefore we said, "Let us take action and build an altar for ourselves, but not for burnt offering or sacrifice. Instead, it is to be a witness between us and you, and between the generations after us, so that we may carry out the worship of the Lord in his presence with our burnt offerings, sacrifices, and fellowship offerings. Then in the future, your descendants will not be able to say to our descendants, 'You have no share in the Lord.'" We thought that if they said this to us or to our generations in the future, we would reply, "Look at the replica of the Lord's altar that our fathers made, not for burnt offering or sacrifice, but as a witness between us and you." We would never ever rebel against the Lord or turn away from him today by building an altar for burnt offering, grain offering, or sacrifice, other than the altar of the Lord our God, which is in front of his tabernacle. When the priest Phinehas and the community leaders, the heads of Israel's clans who were with him, heard what the descendants of Reuben, Gad, and Manasseh had to say, they were pleased. Phinehas, son of Eleazar the priest, said to the descendants of Reuben, Gad, and Manasseh, "Today we know that the Lord is among us, because you have not committed this treachery against him. As a result, you have rescued the Israelites from the Lord's power." Then the priest Phinehas, son of Eleazar, and the leaders returned from the Reubenites and Gadites in the land of Gilead to the Israelites in the land of Canaan, and brought back a report to them. The Israelites were pleased with the report, and they blessed God. They spoke no more about going to war against them to ravage the land where the Reubenites and Gadites lived. So the Reubenites and Gadites named the altar, "It is a witness between us that the Lord is God." Chapter 23. A long time after the Lord had given Israel rest from all the enemies around them, Joshua was old, advanced in age. So Joshua summoned all Israel, including its elders, leaders, judges, and officers, and said to them, I am old, advanced in age, and you have seen for yourselves everything the Lord your God did to all these nations on your account, because it was the Lord your God who was fighting for you. See, I have allotted these remaining nations to you as an inheritance for your tribes, including all the nations I have destroyed, from the Jordan westward to the Mediterranean Sea. The Lord your God will force them back on your account, and drive them out before you, so that you can take possession of their land, as the Lord your God promised you.
Sorry.
Be very strong, and continue obeying all that is written in the book of the law of Moses, so that you do not turn from it to the right or left, and so that you do not associate with these nations remaining among you. Do not call on the names of their gods, or make an oath to them. Do not serve them or bow in worship to them. Instead, be loyal to the Lord your God, as you have been to this day. The Lord has driven out great and powerful nations before you, and no one is able to stand against you to this day. One of you routed 1,000, because the Lord your God was fighting for you, as he promised. So diligently watch yourselves. Love the Lord your God. If you ever turn away and become loyal to the rest of these nations remaining among you, and if you intermarry or associate with them, and they with you, know for certain that the Lord your God will not continue to drive these nations out before you. They will become a snare and a trap for you, a sharp stick for your sides, and thorns in your eyes, until you disappear from this good
Give me old
land the
names.
Lord
Oh,
your
wow.
God has given you. I am now going the way of the whole earth, and you know with all your heart and all your soul that none of the good promises the Lord your God made to you has failed. Everything was fulfilled for you. Not one promise has failed. Since every good thing the Lord your God promised you has come about, so he will bring on you every bad thing, until he has annihilated you from this good land the Lord your God has given you. If you break the covenant of the Lord your God, which he commanded you, and go and serve other gods, and bow and worship to them, the Lord's anger will burn against you, and you will quickly disappear from this good land he has given you. Chapter 24. Joshua assembled all the tribes of Israel at Shechem, and summoned Israel's elders, leaders, judges, and officers, and they presented themselves before God. Joshua said to all the people, "This is what the Lord, the God of Israel, says. Long ago your ancestors, including Terah, the father of Abraham and Nahor, lived beyond the Euphrates River and worshipped other gods. But I took your father Abraham from the region beyond the Euphrates River, led
That's
him
better.
throughout the land of Canaan, and multiplied his descendants. I gave him Isaac, and to Isaac I gave Jacob and Esau. I gave the hill country of Seir to Esau as a possession. Jacob and his sons, however, went down to Egypt. I sent Moses and Aaron, and I defeated Egypt by what I did within it. And afterward, I brought you out. When I brought your fathers out of Egypt, and you reached the Red Sea, the Egyptians pursued your fathers with chariots and horsemen as far as the sea. Your fathers cried out to the Lord. So he put darkness between you and the Egyptians, and brought the sea over them, engulfing them. Your own eyes saw what I did to Egypt. After that, you lived in the wilderness a long time. Later I brought you to the land of the Amorites, who lived beyond the Jordan. They fought against you, but I handed them over to you. You possessed their land,
That's
and I
not all of them.
annihilated them before you.
That's okay.
Balak, son of Zippor, king of Moab, set out to fight against Israel. He sent for Balaam, son of Beor, to curse you. But I would not listen to Balaam. Instead, he repeatedly blessed you, and I rescued you from him. You then crossed the Jordan and came to Jericho. Jericho's citizens, as well as the Amorites, Canaanites, Hethites, Girgashites, Hivites, and Jebusites, fought against you, but I handed them over to you.
This
I
last
sent
one.
hornets ahead of you, and they drove out the 2 Amorite kings before you. It was not by your sword or bow. I gave you a land you did not labor for, and cities you did not build, though you live in them. You are eating from vineyards and olive groves you did not plant. Therefore, fear the Lord, and worship him in sincerity and truth. Get rid of the gods your fathers worshipped beyond the Euphrates River and in Egypt, and worship the Lord. But if it doesn't please you to worship the Lord, choose for yourselves today. Which will you worship? The gods your fathers worshipped beyond the Euphrates River, or the gods of the Amorites in whose land you are living? As for me and my family, we will worship the Lord. The people replied, We will certainly not abandon the Lord to worship other gods. For the Lord our God brought us and our fathers out of the land of Egypt, out of the place of slavery, and performed these great signs before our eyes. He also protected us all along the way we went, and among all the peoples whose lands we traveled through. The Lord drove out before us all the peoples, including the Amorites who lived in the land. We too will worship the Lord, because he is our God. But Joshua told the people, You will not be able to worship the Lord, because he is a holy God. He is a jealous God. He will not forgive your transgressions and sins. If you abandon the Lord and worship foreign gods, he will turn against you, harm you, and completely destroy you, after he has been good to you. No, the people answered Joshua, we will worship the Lord. Joshua then told the people, You are witnesses against yourselves, that you yourselves have chosen to worship the Lord. We are witnesses, they said. Then get rid of the foreign gods that are among you, and turn your hearts to the Lord, the God of Israel. So the people said to Joshua, We will worship the Lord our God, and obey him. On that day Joshua made a covenant for the people at Shechem, and established a statute and ordinance for them. Joshua recorded these things in the book of the law of God. He also took a large stone, and set it up there under the oak at the sanctuary of the Lord. And Joshua said to all the people, You see this stone? It will be a witness against us, for it has heard all the words the Lord said to us, and it will be a witness against you, so that you will not deny your God. Then Joshua sent the people away, each to his own inheritance. After these things, the Lord's servant, Joshua son of Nun, died at the age of 110.
Wow.
They buried him in his allotted territory at Timnath-Serah, in the hill country of Ephraim, north of Mount Gaash. Israel worshipped the Lord throughout Joshua's lifetime, and during the lifetimes of the elders who outlived Joshua, and who had experienced all the works the Lord had done for Israel. Joseph's bones, which the Israelites had brought up from Egypt, were buried at Shechem in the parcel of land Jacob had purchased from the sons of Hamor, Shechem's father, for 100 pieces of silver. It was an inheritance for Joseph's descendants. And Eleazar, son of Aaron, died, and they buried him at Gibeah, which had been given to his son Phinehas in the hill country of Ephraim.
And that is it. We have finished Joshua, the book of Joshua. Starting tomorrow, we'll start on Judges. And then Ruth after that. Ruth is only 4 chapters, so we'll get right through that. And then Samuel, 31 chapters. So that's good. Someone says I don't really read the Bible, I just play it. I follow along. So who made it through my boring live? Ugh. Okay. Then, since no one's answering, I am going to get cleaned up, get dressed, look presentable. Well, look better than what I am. And then I'll be back online. But most likely on my other channel, Michelle's vlogs, because that's where I do morning chit chats. I might do regular chit chats on this channel since no one from this channel is going to the other one. Only a few people are going to the other one, so I will see you guys later. I love you, Gemma, and thank you, Pamela Carr, for coming. And peace out.